What's up? It's me again. I don't even really know if I need to say my name at this point, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's me. I'm already back at it again with, I guess you could say, another think piece. Really, just another video of me talking. But with that being said, this video I want to talk about failure and kind of sort of the fear of it. I remember back when I was young, I want to say around 11 or 12, like middle school, I was always kind of hailed as, one of, if not the smartest kid in my class. I was always the kid who got the highest grades on every test. I was always the kid who got the highest grades on almost all of the tests. And teachers were always like, yo, one of my teachers said, "You're wicked smart." It was my math teacher, my 6th grade math teacher. I had gotten in trouble for something, and he pulled me aside, and he was talking to me, and he was like, "Hey, I need you to chill out because you're wicked smart." And he said it just like that. And then my social studies teacher said, "You're one of the smartest kids in that classroom." So, needless to say, early on, I was always, or for the most part, I was pretty well known as a smart kid. And that also applied out of school too. Even out of school, adults would always tell me that. Well, tell my mom and me that, I'm so wise for my age. I'm so aware. I'm so smart. And I would often get called an old soul. And that led me to have a bit of what I call a golden boy complex, meaning that I could do no wrong because I had already done so much right without even really trying. So the idea of failure to me, it didn't really cross my mind back then because I thought I never could fail. Just at that point, I was never considered somebody, at least to me, I never thought of myself as somebody who could fail. And the thought of it scared me. Flash forward to now, and I'm a freshman in college. I'm in that weird transitional phase where everyone is trying to figure out what they want to do. Or more like I'm at the beginning of that stage because I have conversations about it with my mom all the time, sorry mom, I don't want to throw your age out there like that, but she's 40. And she still tells me like, dude, you're 19 and I'm 40, but we're still at the same place in terms of figuring out what we want to do with ourselves. So, freshman in college right now, I was studying computer science. I decided to start out my studies with computer science. And if you've ever done computer science, you know it's difficult. You are part of the rare minority if that comes easy to you. Much respect to you, but you're also probably a cyborg, and I'm sus of you. But no, I was doing computer science. It's kicking my butt, and I have this thing to where if I don't understand something, I start to dislike it, and that's exactly what happened here. I'm not gonna lie. And not to make excuses or point fingers or anything, but the pacing of my computer programming class in particular didn't help. The way my professor paced the class didn't help things at all. Yeah, I live around other people, so stuff like that happens. But yeah, no, my professor didn't really help in terms of his pacing because he likes to spend 30 seconds on something and then have us do 3 assignments on it right after. It's weird, I know. And multiple students have commented on that, but I'm getting off topic. But yeah, doing computer science, not understanding it, so I'm not liking it, and wasn't doing too well in the class, and it got to a point where I didn't really talk about my grades because I didn't want to tell my mom or my aunt that I was struggling. I was afraid to tell them that. It got to the point where I switched my major. I'm not a computer science major anymore. I moved to film, TV, and electronic media, and I didn't switch to that major just to switch. I actually have an interest in film and stuff like that. I think this whole I think the whole thing of me talking into a camera and then editing that footage later kind of gives the idea that I have at least somewhat of an interest in film and things like that, which I do. So I didn't switch to that major just to switch, but at the same time, I look back and I'm like, did I give computer science as much of a shot as I should have? Did I really only ditch it because it got difficult? Because if that's the case, then I could do that for anything that gets difficult, and I'm well aware that's something that you don't really want to do. But I did it because a good kind of part of the reason why I did it is because I was afraid of failing. One, I was afraid of failing, and two, I was afraid of kind of bringing that failure home and telling, the people that have raised me that I failed. And up until this point, I don't think I've ever really failed at anything, whether it be a class or an extracurricular, whatever the case may be. I never wanted to associate with failure, nor did I want to bring that home. But I had a conversation with my mom and my aunt, who's basically like my second mom. I had a conversation with both of them recently, talking about my decision and how I was kind of dealing with computer programming in of itself. And I told them the reasons why I switched, and they basically were like, bruh, you can't be serious. And I was like, yeah. And they were just like, they basically told me that failure is inevitable. And that was weird for me to hear, because in high school, like, you typically don't want to do that. Because if you fail in high school, you kind of get set back. I don't know. In high school, I always internalize the consequences of failure as, being held back. And that's something that no one really ever wants to do. But when I talk to them, they're like, bruh, you can switch majors as many times as you want, you're still gonna fail at something. Like, it don't even have to be school. Like, failure is inevitable. And after having that conversation and sitting on it, I kind of readjusted my view on failure as a whole. It's a necessary evil. It's as vital to success as success itself is. Failure and success go hand in hand. So, looking back on my decision, I don't know if I regret it. I don't know exactly if I regret it, but I'm just kind of gonna stick with my major now, because again, I do have an interest in it. I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm just kind of gonna stick the course and stay with it. But yeah, I say all that to say that really failure is vital and essential to success. I mean, to have success without failure, at least to me, seems kind of empty-handed almost. Like, it doesn't feel as gratifying when you succeed after failing so many times. And I think the reason I kind of go back and think to my past decision of switching is because did I rob myself of that? Did I rob myself of, the struggle and the gratifying feeling of not struggling anymore? But besides that, that's really all I had to say. And it was a conversation we had recently, like maybe a few days ago, and I was like, why not make a video out of it? So if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you, and stay tuned, because I got another video idea as we speak. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I will see y'all later.